Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking time out on Friday, braving traffic to be here so early. Today is an interesting day. It's the 13th of March. And when we asked the entrepreneurs at GenNext, what do you think? They all said, frankly, it doesn't matter. Every day is a good day or a bad day, depending how the company does. Entrepreneurship is about constant change and disruption. So I want to announce a small change in the schedule here. All of you have the agenda. We had decided to take a break between the first 6 companies and the next 5. And I had requested Rajat from NASSCOM to make a presentation. We're taking a 20-minute coffee break at that point in time. Would request all of you to go out, have your coffee, and come back in 20 minutes. It's just a comfort break because we thought it's good that the energy gets a little dissipated and then people come back for the balance. We started this journey at GenNext 4 months ago, and with a lot of expectations, a lot of nervousness, because we were not sure what would be the outcome at the end of 4 months. And today, we stand on one very important milestone where 11 path-breaking startups have spent 4 intensive and immersive months with us, almost become family for us. And today they showcase their prowess and their products in front of you. Without further ado, let me introduce the guests of honor and request them. We have with us Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, Chairman of GenNext and Board Member of Reliance Industries. Dr. Mashelkar needs no introduction to the world of innovation, doesn't need introduction to the world of corporate India and global. A Padma Shri, a Padma Vibhushan, a Padma Bhushan awardee. Dr. Mashelkar chairs several innovation councils, including the one at Reliance. He's on the advisory board of Microsoft and on the boards of Reliance Industries, Tata Motors, Hindustan Unilever, to name a few. Dr. Mashelkar, thank you for taking time off from your hectic schedule. May I request you to kindly come on the dais? So we can. The next gentleman I'm going to invite, again, needs no introduction in the world of technology. Mr. Bhaskar Pramanik, Chairman of Microsoft India, is an alumni of IIT Kanpur, was a managing director of Sun Microsystem in India and of Oracle. Mr. Pramanik, may I request you to kindly join us on the dais? The third gentleman I'm going to call on the dais, again, needs no introduction. A very well-known name in the consulting world, has been an entrepreneur several times over. Vivek is an alumni of IIT Delhi and University of Columbia, and is the managing partner and co-founder of GenNext, and is also a senior advisor to the chairman of Reliance Industries. Vivek, may I request you to kindly come on stage? Thank you. Without any further delay, may I request Vivek to kindly welcome the gathering here?
Good morning. John, thank you for the introductions, and thank you for facilitating this session. For all of you, very warm welcome from the entire GenNext team. This is our first milestone and an important one. I just want to briefly acknowledge the people that have been part of our journey so far, and want to thank wholeheartedly, starting with Microsoft. Bhaskar Pramanik is here. Many of his colleagues are here on the floor with us, and they've been a vital part of our journey so far. We also have our GenNext folks who've been sitting here, interspersed between all of you. They, like you, are part of the startups. We've been a startup for about a year and a half as well, and this is a journey for us as much as a journey for all of you. And then, as John said, we have the 11 startups who have been an integral part of the program and have helped us come here. Let me share a few points about what we are doing, where we are going, and what this journey means to Reliance, what this journey means to India, what this journey means to all of you and us. We started in 2012 as a venture group within Reliance to help Reliance capitalize on the opportunities in the startup community. We very much recognize that the lifeblood of companies like Reliance is the startups. You know very well that every 5 years, the number of companies that are in the top 10 gets replaced with some of the other startup that you have not even heard of today. We all know the stories of Microsoft sitting here. We know the stories of Apple, Google's, and they have created billions in value, and they have created new products and technologies that have displaced old companies. So for us, as Reliance, the startup community is integral part of where we are in our future. And GenNext Innovation Hub, GenNext Ventures is our effort in connecting with the startup world, in connecting with all of you as entrepreneurs, working with you closely and in our own house, if I will, so that we can understand what you're doing and we can understand and appreciate far better in terms of what we can learn from you so that we can grow. So this is a combined journey for us. We are a startup like all of you, and we want to wholeheartedly welcome and thank our partner, Microsoft. Bhaskar is here to share with you his views and his commitment to this cause. Along with him are his colleagues. Rajneesh has been with us. The whole team from Microsoft has been with us for the last 4 months, every single day working with us in helping this happen. The startups have been here. I see some of our current startups. Dr. Acharya is sitting here. He can tell you about what we do. So we are very, very excited in this journey. We've just taken the first step. I'm hoping that when you come back the next time, we have a lot more to show for in terms of not only the startups, but in terms of how we are changing the ecosystem in India. Thank you very much, and a warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you, Vivek. Insightful, long journey ahead. Dr. Mashelkar, may I request you to kindly give the keynote address? Thank you.
Good morning. And what a special morning it is. You know, I'm reminded of a convocation of a university where the graduates of the day sit there, and we begin by applauding the graduates of the day. Today, there are 11 startups who are the first graduates from our GenNext Innovation Hub. So why don't we follow the same practice that we do in the convocation? Give them a round of applause. There's a big journey ahead of them, and the journey has already started, and you will hear their experiences, their products, and their ambitions, not just Indian markets, but global markets. You know, it's interesting. Let me be somewhat personal in my comments. This week has been, that means Friday to Friday, an innovation week for me. In what way? You know, the President of India has launched what is called as Festival of Innovation. It started on the 7th in Delhi, and every year, 7 to 13, is marked as Festival of Innovation. I was there on the 7th, I was there on the 8th. And on the 7th, he gave awards to the grassroots innovators. National Innovation Foundation, which I'm privileged to chair, actually picks up these grassroots innovators because we are formed with a fundamental belief that 1.2 billion Indians don't mean 1.2 billion mouths, but they mean 1.2 billion minds. And it is incredible, those grassroots innovators, farmers, artisans, school dropouts, etc., you know, received the awards at the hands of the President. The following day, we gave away the Young Technological Innovation Awards. And there are 7 days of festivities. And today, 13th, it's a great coincidence, as we are meeting here, by the way, the Festival of Innovation, the last day, there is an event where 26 bankers from around the country are gathering to see what are the innovative ways of financing innovation, and the final valedictory will be given by the President at 12 o'clock. I mean, these two events are taking place. That's the new India that is emerging for you. Here is the partnership between Microsoft and Reliance trying to fuel innovation, and there in Delhi, the government is trying to fuel innovation. In fact, I was expected to be there, but there is still no technology by which the same person can be at 2 places at the same time. So we'll have to, also I hope one of the startups will create that in the future. That's number one. Number two, as I said, Innovation Week, there is a corporate innovation board of a multi-billion-dollar company in Europe. I happen to be its member. I was there for a couple of days. And interestingly, they're also trying to incubate, accelerate, and there was a presentation that was made in terms of what they're incubating, what they are supporting, what they're taking equity stake in. And I can tell you, and this is something I said there also, if you look at the quality of ideas, the quality of innovations, et cetera, and I'm talking about something that is happening in Europe, I find that these 11 startups that we are talking about, the extent of innovation, the level of innovation, if you were to compare, we are an order of magnitude better. This is incredible. So I think the issue is not about great ideas, great inventions, because great ideas don't make great inventions don't make great products don't make great business, and great businesses are not always successful. I mean, unless businesses are successful, they can't be called great. So this journey, I think, is the most important one, and that is where we come in. I like to simplify things by giving an analogy. There is a seed, okay? But you don't eat seed, you eat fruit. And from seed to fruit is a journey, because the seed has to go in a fertile soil to start with. It has to be fed with fertilizers, nutrients, and so on and so forth before it grows into a healthy sort of plantlet. And this is precisely what we are trying to do together. And therefore, you will find from the experience of these 11 that that is the help we actually gave them. And the role of mentorship in that, helping to create them business plans, converting ideas finally into business, I think is what sort of makes this exercise sort of worthwhile. The other point I like to make is that we are so fortunate that we have inspiration from both Reliance and Microsoft to great companies. And if you look at just the founders, on one hand, Dhirubhai Ambani, and I remember Mukesh Bhai telling me that one of the reasons he wants to create next-gen Dhirubhai's, next-gen Reliance's, is because the entrepreneurial potential, given the right entrepreneurial ecosystem of this country, is absolutely vast. And that is the purpose. And the other one, I remember Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. I had an opportunity about 5 years ago to have a dinner-cum discussion with him, along with a few others. And he told us something very interesting. He said he was invited to give the convocation address at Harvard University, and he declared himself as the most successful dropout ever to come out from Harvard, which he was, of course. And then he talked about his early days while he was young. He said there was a company in Albuquerque which was going to get into hardware manufacturing. And he said, well, they will require software. And he phoned them up, half expecting that they will keep the phone down because a young boy in his early 20s saying, I will provide software. That company said, to his surprise, we are not ready yet, come after a month. And then Bill told us that I'm glad that they said, I was relieved that they said, come after a month, because I was not ready with the software. But he had the confidence. I think there is a big lesson from both Reliance and Microsoft founders. And the big lesson is not only the confidence, but the trust that the society sort of has in the power of the young. Mukesh Bhai always tells me about how when he was in mid-20s, his father threw him into the swimming pool and said, learn swimming, Patal Ganga plant. He was put fully in charge of erecting a completely new plant, mid-20s. So I think that trust in the young, that they can do it, is the crux of the matter as far as we are concerned. So I will simply say that we are actually looking at, as founding pillars, 3 things: talent, technology, and trust. Okay? Now, as far as talent is concerned, it's in abundance, as we have seen. As far as technology is concerned, we are looking at disruptive technology. Don't forget, we are talking about GenNext. We are talking about next gen. We are talking about not the best practice, but the next practice, so as to say. That means we have to be not incremental, but disruptive. And I'm very happy to see, as I was walking around this stall, full of ideas, all 11 of them. Very interestingly, I saw something common. I mean, I looked at GenNext. They're looking at logistics, but not reactive. It is proactive, it is predictive, and it is preventive. And then I came to health vector. And again, I find they are not being reactive, they are being predictive, they are being proactive, and they are being preventive. You know, the commonality, that is next gen, not just being sort of reactive. So we have abundance of talent. Technology has to be brought to fusion. The journey from idea to marketplace is one where we are trying to help. And finally, I want to thank Microsoft for what they have brought to the table. It has been a terrific partnership. We are going to start with batch 2. Will be announced, will be started in June. And October to October, we would have had an year's experience of working together, learning from each other, and sort of moving forward. So, Bhaskar, it's, as they say, in a 10,000-mile journey, the first few steps are so important, and we are so lucky to have had you to hold hands with you, learn from you, and move forward on this great journey where, like I always say, the I in India should not be standing anymore for imitation, inhibition. It must stand for innovation. I said this was a week of innovation for me. Let me end by telling you the fact that yesterday, the Global Innovation Index, there is an international advisory board. I attended their meeting by teleconferencing. And I'm sorry to say that if you look at our ranking, you know, 4 years ago, it was 62 among 143 nations. 3 years ago, from 62, it became 64. 2 years ago, it became 66. And last year, 76. So 62, 64, 66, 76. Why? Is it that we don't have talent in technology? Yes, we have. But that last mile journey to make it happen in the marketplace is something that we should be worried about. And therefore, I think this forum becomes extraordinarily important. The Young Technological Innovation Awards, 1,900 entries, we gave 40 awards, but would they convert themselves into a final business? Doubtful. And that is the journey I believe India needs to take, and therefore, our positioning this and our contributing to this great cause becomes so important. So I want to add my own word of welcome on behalf of GenNext, on behalf of Mukesh Bhai, on behalf of all of us to you, and I hope that this will be an exciting and enriching morning for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mashelkar. It just reaffirms our faith that there is no better time to be an entrepreneur than in India. And I think we agree that the I in India should stand for innovation. We'll also look, Dr. Mashelkar, for an idea to beam me up, Scotty, to happen out of the next batch. Bhaskar, may I request you to kindly share your thoughts on the occasion?
So, good morning, and thank you for inviting me, Dr. Mashelkar. For Microsoft, it has been a great experience working with GenNext and Reliance to make this happen. I had a very brief opportunity to walk past some of the stalls, but I did have an opportunity to see most of the YouTube presentations which you made, and I was really impressed with what I saw. What I'd like to share with you today is I wanted to share why is Microsoft involved in doing this. I wanted to share with you what we mean by innovation and how can we foster innovation at a national level. And I'd like to share with you some of our thoughts and ideas as to how we want to continue doing this as we go forward. First of all, I think the I in India does stand for innovation. It has always been. It may have manifested itself in many other different forms, but today I think it's actually showing up in extremely and many, many very different ways. It's interesting that this time in the union budget, there was a lot of great stuff which was talked about, but when it talked about the IT industry, the Indian IT industry, it's a $150 billion industry. The mention which the finance minister, or what he mentioned, was really about the youth. It was about skilling, and it was about entrepreneurship, and it was about funding for innovation. 10,000 crores in last year's budget, an additional 1,000 crores and 500 crores to help in each one of these areas. So even the government is focusing on innovation and focusing on creating this entrepreneurship, what you see present here in this room. From a Microsoft perspective, we were a startup. We started off 40 years ago, and today perhaps we are one of the most successful and largest startups which was ever created. But it's interesting because in the last 2 years, with the new CEO, it actually feels like we are back in a startup all over again. And I was sharing some of the stories with Dr. Mashelkar just before we came here. But it really is very, very exciting times for Microsoft because we are re-looking and reinventing everything which we've done in the past. We believe that what made us successful in the past is no longer is what is going to be making us successful in the future. So who are we as a company today? I think first of all, we have to recognize that the world around us has changed, and especially from a technology perspective. We live in what our CEO likes to call a mobile-first and a cloud-first world. Now let me explain what that means. Mobile is not about the mobile phone, it's about the mobility of the individuals. Every individual should have the ability to access any application or service on any kind of device, on any kind of form factor, irrespective of where he is. Now that's a huge shift because most computing in the past was very static. It was either out of somebody's data center or it was on your desk. And everywhere you went, you had to have another device for that specific location. And today, we live in a world which is completely different. And if you see some of the examples of the entrepreneurs and from the accelerator, I mean, you're talking about making a car intelligent. You're talking about how the car can actually, or the automobile or the vehicle, can actually feed information irrespective of where it is. So we moved to a stage where, you know, we are talking about mobility, not just of people, but we are also talking about the mobility of devices, and that's what we now tend to call the Internet of Things. And all of a sudden, opportunities and possibilities are huge. When we talk about the cloud, it's really what makes everything possible. You know, I've been in this industry for 42 years. I've worked with ISVs, independent software vendors, that's what they were called. I recently met somebody who I've known and respected for many years. He was perhaps the guy who started the first software company, Divakar Nigam. And he had a company which actually was creating office productivity software even before Microsoft existed. And he's still in that business, but he's slowly transforming his businesses to a cloud-based business. When he started, life was tough. You had to have an idea. You had to have lots of people to write the code if you didn't write it yourself. You had to go buy hardware. You had to go buy software. You had to go buy networks. And then you first built the software, then you tested it, then you developed it. Then you had to do a pilot. You had to buy hardware all over again, new set of software licenses. And if by chance you went through all of that, and then you decided actually to go to market, it was another huge set of expenses just from a technology perspective. And today, you don't have to worry about it. Because all you need is a mobile phone, and you can have access to more computing power than any of us have had the opportunity to do in the past. And that's really what the cloud brings, that enormous, highly elastic, extremely secure, private computing power which is at your disposal. And today, the only thing you have in short supply is human imagination, human attention, because computing is no longer the scarce resource. So if you look at all the bright ideas which we're going to, from the entrepreneurs who are going to present to us, one thing you will observe is that they've all assumed infinite computing, and all of them are focusing on how to get that human attention to solve a specific problem. That's the beauty of the era in which we live in. It's mobile first, it's cloud first, and most important, it's infinite computing capability which is being available to you. Now, what does Microsoft do? I think, if you ask who we are, and I ask many people when I go out and meet CEOs, even students, and they say, you're Windows and you're Office. Well, we try to redefine who we are, and I think it's relevant for you to understand that. We are now the productivity and platform company. And let me explain what productivity means. Productivity is about everything. It's about the productivity of individuals, the productivity of enterprises, the productivity of organization, and it's also the productivity of processes. It is about enabling everybody, every human being, every individual on the planet to realize their true potential. It's about ensuring that they can access the information, reach out to the people whom they want to, be able to solve their daily problems much more easily. Because like I said before, the only scarcity which you have is human attention. And that's what all of us face every day in our lives. You get up in the morning, you want to get certain things done. And you have to go out, and some of it takes huge amounts of time. Whether you want to transfer money from one bank to another, whether you want to pay your taxes, whether you want to even print your boarding pass, these are all things which have a huge impact. You want to go on a holiday, and you want to buy the train tickets, make the hotel bookings, get a rental car, and do all of that by yourself. You have to go through a travel agent or somebody else. It takes a huge amount of time. All of that is examples of where people, where you can, solve a problem. And again, when I go back to some of the entrepreneurs out here who are going to present to you their solutions, look at it from the perspective of productivity. What does it mean to the target consumer or the target business? Is it helping them to do something better at a magnitude and at a scale much more than what is possible today? And I think you'll find that the answer is yes. Every one of the solutions which you see out there is involved in enabling productivity, enhancing productivity, either at the individual level or at a business level or at a process level. And that's the definition of what Microsoft believes is what our true calling is, that is a productivity company. The next word is platform. We are a productivity and a platform company. Now, platform is great because we make all these software platforms and hardware platforms which run on mobile devices, various different form factors, from a tablet to a PC to a mobile phone, and also to a big, large TV. And it could also be, in future, it's going to be on the Internet of Things, one common operating system which goes right across. It's also the platform which you use in the back end, either in your what we call the private data centers, or it could be in the public cloud. It's the fabric which enables all of those applications and services to be created, which can then be fed to all these different devices. So that's what we call a platform. But our platform is a lot bigger than that, because in our definition of a platform, it is not just on the devices, it's not just on the data center. For us, a platform is also the ecosystem. If you think about what made Microsoft successful, it's not just the fact that we've created all these different technologies. It's also because we partnered with students, we partnered with developers, we partnered with entrepreneurs, with the software vendors, with the systems integrators. Without that partnership, we wouldn't be where we are today. And we believe that that is going to become equally important going forward. So the reason why we are here, the reason why we are partnering with Reliance and GenNext is because of that. Because we have to create the next generation of solutions providers who will provide those applications and services which will benefit mankind, which will benefit businesses, which will benefit society. And that's why we are here, because that is something which is part and parcel of who we are as a company. Just thought I'd end with just sharing with you that Microsoft, our CEO was here, Satya Nadella, and he had a meeting with the Prime Minister. This is about nearly about 6 or 7 months ago. And he actually told the Prime Minister that we will be the first company to do what is called Make in India. We have now invested in 3 large data centers here in India, one in Chennai, one in Maharashtra in Bombay, and the second in Pune. These data centers will be of a size and scale, and cloud data centers, not hosting data centers, with network latency, with storage capability, which are far higher than perhaps what the Indian industry has seen. This is what we believe will transform the way computing is done in this country. We believe that this will have the scale which will transform how applications and services are delivered to enterprises, to individuals, and to government organizations. And we also believe that this will help invigorate the entrepreneurship of India. The opportunity for people like you to come up with the next generations of companies or solution providers which will serve society at large and the economy. So I wanted to share that with you because I think that's a very significant investment which we made, and it is only going to make it easier for us to partner with companies like Reliance. And we'd like to see not just 11 people graduate but hopefully the next batch will be much larger. I also want to thank Microsoft Ventures. Microsoft Ventures is part of our DX organization. It's a global organization, and their focus is really working with the developer ecosystem. It's about working with startups. It is working with entrepreneurs. Microsoft Ventures especially established itself about 2 years ago in India. We have an accelerator which started off in Bangalore. It was an idea, it was a thought. We set up 4 such across the world. One of them happened to be here in India, and it was so successful. We already have 63 companies which have graduated through this accelerator. 2 out of every 3 have already received funding, and it's an awesome set of companies in many different fields. That encouraged us to say, how can we scale? And we felt that the best way is the way we've always done in Microsoft, which is how do we build and how do we partner. We have 2 partnerships. One is with Reliance, and the other one is with the Sycamore Foundation, Deshpande Foundation, Desh Deshpande, who was the founder of Sycamore. It's an accelerator in Hubli. It's called Sandbox. But these are the 2 very significant partnerships which we have built. And we believe that this is something which can help scale the Indian entrepreneur scene. So I want to thank my colleagues from Microsoft Ventures, Rajneesh. I think, yeah, he's here. I want to thank him and his team for all the efforts they put to make this venture successful. And I look forward to the next batch and the next batch and the batch after that. We're very keen to really have this scale to much greater heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaskar. I remember when I started my journey as a professional, when people asked me, are you mobile? It meant, do I have a 2-wheeler? When people said cloud, I looked up. And it just tells us of the old adage, change is the only constant. But in today's day and age, I believe that rapid change is the only reality. And now, with no further ado, I would request that we get into presentation mode. Thank you, Dr. Mashelkar. Thank you, Bhaskar. Thank you, Vivek. May I request you to kindly join the guests on the floor. Rajneesh, can I now hand over the stage to you for our 11 path-breaking startups to showcase their skills. Thank you.
Is the mic on? Thanks, John. Good morning. Louder, this is a startup event. That's the way to go about it. So again, we're going to innovate here further. Whilst they kind of set up their deck here, I will stand here. I will not take that particular stage there. So indeed, as you heard the speakers say, it's been a very, very big milestone day for us. You know, for all of us who had this great passion to germinate innovation, to seed innovation, to foster innovation, to abet innovation, to help innovation. And that's a bit the single-minded focus that Microsoft and Reliance had partnered. So last year when we entered into this partnership discussions, we were thinking on multiple models as to how do we go about it. And one thing that we thought is, there is a significant amount of innovation already happening in this country, right? You all agree to that? Okay. So how do we then kind of expand on that? How do we expand to the larger number of tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 cities? Because today, if you see, most of the innovation is happening, or most of these startups, if you see, they're getting a good amount of handholding in the tier 1 cities, but not necessarily the tier 2 and the tier 3. Bhaskar spoke about the Sandbox Accelerator that we have in Hubli, which is probably a tier 3 city as per the definitions that we have. So what we have done is, when we entered the partnership, we thought that the best way to go about for the first batch is go on the same lines that we have pioneered in the last 2 years, which is go for a 4-month-old activity where the startups go through a very rigorous process where, to start with, we go for a customer workshop, a customer validation of the solutions. Because as you know, in India, sadly, most of the solutions are built on PowerPoint with a single-minded focus to garner the attention of VCs, right? Sadly, that's the case. So we want to kind of change that. We wanted to ensure that people actually talk to customers. So if you see, the way we have gone ahead is, we have ensured that these solutions are broken down, threadbare, exposed to the customers, taken the feedback, and then we enter into the technology workshops, the product management workshops, finance workshops, the legal workshops. And interestingly so, for the first time, I think, we also had a very senior partner from one of the most senior, one of the exec leadership team called Hydrick and Struggles, come and teach these startups, how do you recruit senior talent and how do you onboard them? Even at this stage. Right at this stage, we have given them that kind of a coaching. So that's the kind of mentoring and coaching that we have given the startups over here. So today, there are going to be 11 startups that are going to be graduating. The format is going to be that I'm going to call all the 11 startups one by one. As John said earlier, we just innovated a little bit in the agenda in the morning. We're going to have a short break, and then we're going to assemble back. So the first batch is going to be 6 startups, and then we're going to have the next 5 startups. In between, we will have one of my good friends from NASSCOM speak about the various initiatives that NASSCOM is doing, and especially the latest meeting, the last week meeting that they had with the Prime Minister. So there's a lot of updates to be given to the community, and that's something we're going to share. So in this graduation, another thing that I'm very, very pleased to let you know is that we have a startup who is going to announce a solution for the first time in this world. It's going to launch a solution for the first time in this world. And you might probably be thinking, why is it launching when you talk of acceleration? Right? I mean, it's like you say you're accelerating, you're saying of customer attractions and all that, but how do you kind of justify the fact that you're going to launch a product here? Well, the fact of the matter is, as I told you earlier, our focus was on innovation, on fostering innovation. And we thought the solution is perhaps the world's first solution that addresses the current pain point in that industry. I will not go into details because I don't want to steal the thunder from the entrepreneur who's going to present that. So that's one launch that we have. So without much ado, let me call on the first speaker here. Dhruvil, are you ready? Okay, so we have Dhruvil from GenNext.
Well, thank you, Rajneesh, for the wonderful introduction and for filling in the energy. So everyone, I'm Dhruvil. I'm from GenNext, and I'm going to talk about logistics and big data today. That's a unique intersection. Logistics stands that. But let's assume, let's take a situation where you are standing at an intersection and you want to take left. Let's assume you want to go left. There are 2 ways of doing it. Either you take a left turn, or you take 3 consecutive right turns, cover the entire block, and come to that location. Now, taking 3 right turns wouldn't make sense, right? But what if I tell you there's a US-based large logistics companies which mandates all their last-mile delivery trucks to take 3 right turns instead of taking a left turn to go left? Yes, everyone, this is UPS. which had spent $600 million to make this route optimization technology over a period of 2 years for their US operations, and now they are saving $60 million every year just by mandating their trucks to take 3 right turns instead of 1 left turn. That's the beauty about technology in logistics. Now, what if I tell you that we do similar things for similar logistics companies across the world? Yes, as Dr. Mashelkar correctly identified us, we are the first proactive and predictive data analytics engine based out of Mumbai right now. Well, again, big data analytics, right? You must have already heard about so many big data analytics companies, and you must be thinking there's one more in the line. But how are we different? This is how we are different. We do predictive delay alerts. That means that we tell e-commerce and logistics companies even before their shipments gets delayed. So we tell them that, hey, your shipments are going to get delayed by 2 hours or by 12 hours today, looking at the current situations. We also have the most accurate route optimization and ETA calculation engine in India at the moment. Now, what this means is now e-commerce companies are able to tell their end customers that your shipments will come between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. instead of telling them that, hey, your shipments are coming sometimes today. So that's the level of accuracy we are getting into. And of course, we do a lot of other advanced analytics, including location clustering and so on. A lot of buzzwords, right? Does it really make business value? Yes. We always had an aggressive growth plan to reach out to 5 different segments within logistics to begin with. And from our plan of meeting all these companies, we already converted 25% of these companies into our pilot customers, and few of the companies are paying customers as well. And this, everybody, these 5 segments together converts into a $3 billion market opportunity only in India. A huge number, yes. India alone ships 100 million shipments every day. And that is similar to a $7 billion industry market opportunity in Southeast Asia and a $20 billion market opportunity in North America, which is where we are moving in next few years. Behind the scenes, we are an awesome team of Carnegie Mellon grads and a professor that we had. Together with Manisha, started this journey a year ago. And we were working for larger consulting and logistics companies out of US. We moved back to India to start this. Mark has been a true asset to the company in the sense that he runs his own analytics startup out of US, which is now backed by GE Ventures. And he has been adding value from analytics, sales, and investment point of view. So without further ado, I would actually like to invite all of you after the presentations to our stalls where you can actually come and see what the product is and how we are visualizing and doing analytics to save thousands of dollars to these companies every day. Thank you.
So Dhruv, I have a question for you. You talk about analytics. How do you get the data into this? And how do you crunch the data? Can you just explain that a little bit more?
Yes. Thank you for the question, Rajneesh. So yes, it's a lot of data, but how do we get it? So we have multiple data collection mediums across the different segments of logistics. So if there's a pickup and delivery model, we have mobile apps. If it's an intercity model, we have small matchbox-sized GPS trackers which could go into anywhere. It could be a truck or a person or a consignment also. And we also integrate with different kind of sensors which are already deployed on the field already. So that is how we gather all this location information, crunch that, and throw these unique insights. Fantastic. Thank you.
Let me now call upon Ankur from FlexiGuru. All set? All set. Good. The stage is yours.
Good morning, friends. I'm Ankur Agarwal, founder and CEO of FlexiGuru.com. A famous educationist once said, if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. Traditional learning is based on mass production. It offers one rigid style of learning. Few students do well, but many lag behind. Today, 2 out of 3 adults worldwide don't have an equivalent of high school education. Many e-learning systems have evolved. They've been successful in reducing the cost of education, making education more accessible. But clearly, they haven't been able to make a difference in a way a student learns. So we are bringing an end of an era of one-size-fits-all education, introducing our product, FlexiGuru.com, a personalized learning platform. Our uniqueness lies in the fact that we offer curated content library layered with data analytics. We don't bind ourselves with any one layer of style of content. Instead, we host different styles of content to meet the needs of different learners. And we have about 100,000 learning resources in our library. That includes 50,000 videos, 55,000 questions, curated from 50+ educators. And our data analytics tracks each and every activity. So it tracks activities like time spent by a learner on each learning resource, learning style of a learner, whether a learner prefers visual-based learning or a practice-based learning, assessment reports drilled down to concept level, and of course, progress made over a period of time. Using all this data, we are able to deliver personalized learning feeds based on learners' interest and behavior. So I would like you to meet Akiko and Kavita. So they've been learning science on FlexiGuru. FlexiGuru kept a track of all their activities and analyzed Akiko likes to learn from Khan Academy videos, whereas Kavita likes to learn from 2D, 3D animations. It also analyzed that Akiko is weak in laws of motion, whereas Kavita needs help in gravitation. So based on all this data, we've been able to deliver personalized learning feeds to both Akiko and Kavita. In terms of our business model, we generate revenues by offering white label platform plus content to our B2B clients, and our deployment options are very flexible. We can deploy our solution through web, through mobile apps, both online and offline. We have a patent pending technology that stores results locally and can sync them online whenever the connection is available. Our traction, so we have 20,000 paid subscribers from our B2B deals, giving us a total contracted revenue of $1 million. Few of our clients, City School, a big school franchise in South Asia, Tutoria, a learning platform in Pakistan, Intrinsic Books, a UK-based publishing company, Deck Publishing from Japan, and ABN from Nigeria. So we are focusing on self-paced learning market of Asia, which is a $5.2 billion opportunity. So even though we've been focusing on B2B, our B2C platform has also taken off. We're experiencing exponential growth with 70,000 visitors per month from 150+ countries. And we haven't spent even $1 on marketing yet. In terms of registered users, we are getting 5,000 registered users every month who's experiencing our platform on a daily basis. The team, so we put together a very strong team. My co-founder, Mehak, and I have worked in a content development company in the past, dealt with clients like Pearson, Tata, and many Fortune 500 companies. Technology is led by Dan Oja, who has 20 years of experience in digital publishing and e-learning sector. Our engineering team in India is led by Santosh Nayak, who has formerly worked with TCS and has excellent experience in cloud technologies. We are backed by some renowned angel investors and advisors. One of them is Rick Cranenberg, who's an ex-group president of McGraw-Hill Education, and June Parsons, who's the author of award-winning computer textbook. So I would like to invite you to our booth so that we can show you how we personalize learning, and I'm sure you like the product and we'll have you and your kids signed up on FlexiGuru. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankur. Question to you.
Sure.
You've got customers from all over the world. There are so many edtech companies on this planet.
Right.
What is so different about you for these global companies to come and take your business?
Good question, John. So a lot of e-learning companies are coming up. So what we're seeing is they're actually replicating the traditional model. What they're doing is they're just putting content online, and that hasn't changed the mode of learning. So what we are doing is we build this platform to make sure that the learning is personalized. We realize that we can do a lot with technology, and that's how we personalize the learning, and we see the user behavior and their interest areas, and based on that, user gets the content. So it's a truly personalized learning experience for the user.
Great. Thank you, Ankur.
Thanks.
I really hope that people like Ankur and the other education companies that we have actually stop our young kids to look for education quality overseas. The next startup is interesting because they're headquartered out of Singapore. Varad actually applied for the program and took flights month after month to be with us in India through this program. He's got an interesting solution that will actually change the way people travel in public transportation. Varad, over to you. Go.
Thank you, John. Good morning. How many of you came in a taxi today? Fantastic, so many. Good. I assume you will all agree with me that it could be quite boring inside a taxi, especially in a city like Mumbai where you get stuck in traffic. I'll ask the ladies, how many of you feel that it's not safe anymore? At least the media is telling me every day I read the Indian newspapers. I see that media is telling me it's not safe. I introduced Accelerate, a passenger safety and an engagement platform. Billions, not just you. They're all held captive inside vehicles. A ride, which is supposed to be like this, very engaged. You see the smile on their face, they feel safe, is actually like this. Actually like this. You see disengaged, it's unsafe. I'm going to give you a data point which I'll circle back later, that Indians alone spend 15 million hours a day inside moving vehicles. That's 15 million hours a day. Note that. With all the recent unfortunate incidents that has happened inside vehicles, the industry as a whole jumped into a conclusion that putting a physical panic button inside will solve the problem. They think that's the silver bullet. You know what? This is the state of a physical panic button. It is non-standard, it is unintuitive, and it can be unreachable at times. Then what is the best intuitive way of responding to distress or a panic? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, human beings and animals have the way when they see danger, they respond to it with a shriek or a shout. We introduce Accelerate, comprehensive safety system, perhaps is the world's first, which is based on voice activation. We have started installing devices like this inside vehicles. We have about 300 already rolled out in multiple cities in India and Singapore as well. This is a meter, this is a location tracker, this is a phone. This actively listens to what's happening inside the vehicle, and the moment it hears a shout or a shriek, it captures a picture and a 30-second voice and sends it back to the cloud. All this happens without the knowledge of the driver. And this is what a call center employee sees. We are basically putting an eye and an ear inside every single vehicle. You see a picture, what's happening inside the vehicle, you hear the audio, and you have all the parameters of the vehicle where it is. Now, you have avoided false alarms, as well as you are able to get what's happening inside and get help. We have some marquee clients already on board. Like I said, 300 already on road. I'm not sure how many they've fitted today. We have about 25,000 implementations going up. That means 100 million safe passengers. Remember I told you the data point, 15 billion hours? This is where it is. We have built an engagement platform which sits with contents from CNBC, Sun Network, etc., Epic TV, etc., to give you high quality content inside the vehicle to keep everyone engaged. And we can do e-commerce as well. We have built a remote control that sits right on your phone, which makes it really excitingly interactive, that you're not just boringly seeing something that is shown on the TV. Market opportunity is huge. 2 million vehicles has to be installed with this safety device, which also complements as an engagement platform. We have done a lot of pilots in the Southeast Asia market as well. We have a few running in Malaysia and Singapore. I spent, like John said, I spent 18 years in corporate, 10 years in Credit Suisse Singapore, and my team has about 150 years of experience in total with people, senior people like Raja Balakrishnan from ex-Siemens. We have won many awards, and we have been in the news for all the right reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you to come to our booth, shout and scream to see the system in action. Stay engaged, stay focused, stay safe, accelerate. Thank you.
Bharat, thank you so much. I heard John say that you came from Singapore, and of course I know that you came from Singapore. But what made you come from Singapore to do some innovation here in this country, and especially on a safety issue? And give me that tablet that you had. Yeah. I'll come to this later.
Good question, Rajnish. It's almost becoming a capital of crime in moving vehicles. India. It's on every other day you have a problem. And I've been in Singapore for 10 years, and I know how good and safe the transportation system is. So we wanted to improve both. The efficiency of the transportation system coupled with safety. So everybody is attacking the problem of making it efficient, getting you a vehicle. They don't look at what happens after you got into a vehicle. That is where we wanted to get in. And then say, we get you a vehicle, after that we engage you throughout and keep you safe as well.
Thank you for coming. By the way, this is the form factor, this is the Windows form factor. I just wanted to show you that because Windows, the Microsoft devices, you would have seen the laptops, the PCs, and there are some very cool form factors that have been bought out in the market these days. And this is one of them, the smallest device. And this is going to be put in what, 300 odd caps now? And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the kind of form factor. So please check out all the form factors of Windows as well. I'm selling Microsoft here.
You've actually installed on Windows PC as well. The same app running on the Windows PC.
Thank you.
Talking about.
Excellent. So now let's see a little bit more. Let's see how people can engage us furthermore in this audience. So let me invite my good friend AB from Tootle.
How can we miss this amazing event, which helps us to meet a lot of entrepreneurs, startups, media, VCs, and others? There are a lot of events like this happening around us. Unfortunately, today's tools out there are not good enough to help us to discover events based on our interest. Different people have different interests. Some would like to go for music events, some would like to go for startup events, some would like to go for fashion events. So discovering events based on our interest is one of the biggest problems we are facing right now. And in almost all the events, different people are taking pictures on their mobile phone. And the most valuable picture for us are sitting on someone else's mobile phone. Right now, somebody is taking a picture of me. And that picture is the most valuable picture for me than any other picture in my mobile phone. How can I get that picture? Some will tell, we can upload all these pictures into our Facebook. Let's say, I'm taking 100 pictures of this event, and I'm uploading all these pictures into my Facebook. Only my friends are going to see these pictures. And these pictures are not valuable for them. But these pictures are very valuable for all the attendees who are sitting here. So sharing pictures is the second biggest problem. And in this big crowd, there are a lot of like-minded people. Some would like to talk about GenNext. Some would like to talk about FlexiGuru. Some would like to talk about Accelerate. Or some would like to go and have a coffee hangout after this event. How can these like-minded people know each other? So connection between attendees is missing. So these problems motivated us to develop Tootle, a mobile app which helps people to discover and engage in social events. We help people to discover events based on their interest. The system will study user pattern and suggest events based on their interest. We help people to share pictures in events. All the attendees can upload pictures into one event, and all the attendees, all the people who are attending that event can download these pictures. We also help people to connect even after the event ends. Tootle also help friends to quickly plan and enjoy frequent group activities like coffee hangout, movies, weekend parties, and others. Right now, we are using WhatsApp group chat to organize these kinds of events. But the purpose of WhatsApp is not to organize these kinds of frequent group activities. Let's think how we are going for a coffee hangout or a weekend party with our friends. Sometimes we will go out with 4 or 5 friends. Next time, we will go out with some other friends. So it's not possible to create separate group chat for each event as the number of attendees get changed, and these WhatsApp group messages turn annoying if some of our friends are not interested to attend the event. So Tootle helped friends to quickly plan and enjoy frequent group activities with relevant information to the relevant people. Our dream is to bring all group activities to mainstream, whether it's big or small. Now, I would like to give you a quick introduction about my team. We are a 4-member team with 3 co-founders. All the co-founders were area classmates, and we worked together in TCS for 2 years. Then we resigned our corporate job to build something exciting. We developed India's first mobile commodity price app, which won the prestigious Open Data Apps Award conducted by Government of India and NASCOM to encourage data-driven innovation. We also got selected into United Nations Millennium Development Program. And the World Bank was interested to invest in us if we were going ahead with open data-related projects. Since we were very passionate about Tootle, we dropped that investment. We also got selected into TechCrunch Disrupt, and we were there in Silicon Valley for 2 months. As a bootstrapping plan and to learn marketing, we developed few lifestyle apps which have a combined user base of 2 million, through which we make a revenue of $100,000 in last 12 months. I would like to invite all of you to our stall and feel the power of Tootle. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhi. Quick question. Are you telling me that Tootle is a mix of Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and WhatsApp?
Yeah.
You're going to disrupt them?
Yeah.
That's the only change that the world needs to watch out for. And is the product launched?
Yeah, we are launching it today.
So great. And how do I get access to your app?
You come to us, just search Tootle in Google Play Store. That's all.
Great. So ladies and gentlemen, just walk to a stall, download the app, and next time, we're going to save time and money trying to send invites to you. Just Tootle, and you'll get access to all events like this on your Tootle handle. Thank you, Abhi. Thank you very much. I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you a problem that we had when we were designing these interesting T-shirts on myself and on my colleagues in the startup journey. We said, how does this design look on us? And we said, why do we have to go far? We have Mahinda from Coimbatore, who's got an interesting solution where you can visualize how you're going to look in a dress that you need not put on. Mahinder, over to you.
Thank you, John. Hello. Yep. So, thank you, John, and you made my introduction very easy. So, as John said earlier, everyone over here loves shopping. You want to see how you look in a particular dress and a color. But during the time, we get annoyed. And the experience might go for a toss when there are these long waiting queues for the trial rooms or at the long waiting queues during billing. And on the other side, you have the challenges from the retailers. First, a salesperson spends almost 80% of his time during peak times and season times in sorting out the clothes instead of selling. And the products get damaged very frequently due to frequent trials. And the retailers are forced to sell their products at discounted price. Also leading to long waiting queues. As I said earlier, we all carry 4 to 5 different types of products and combinations. We would like to mix it up and match it up with different T-shirts and different jeans. By end of the 5th combination, we would forget how we look in our first combination. And I'm sure everyone here can relate to it. All these factors leads to unsatisfied customers. And the hygiene of the customer is also under question because of the frequent trials of the products by different people. We see similar trends on the e-commerce side, where the retailers are not able to showcase their products to their customers, and the customers do not know how it looks or fits on them, leading to 30% on an average returns. There's a huge reverse logistics undergone right now. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Virtual Dressing Room by Keynote, where you can trial products virtually to see which looks good on you and which color suits you better. You can also mix it up and match it up with various combination and make your decisions easier. So what have we achieved out of it? At GenNext 21, where we launched for ready-made garments in our version 1, we saw the sales conversion over a weekend to be increased by 20%. And in our version 2, we launched for fabrics and swatches, where we convert the fabrics or swatch into a suit or a shirt instantly. We are not doing it on a predefined model or a 3D model. We are doing it on the person instantly. And by doing that, we were able to decrease the trial time by 57% on an average over the weekend. Above all, the customer engagement and experience was increased and improved. The customer rating given to us by the end users after using a solution was on an average of 7.5. So, as Mr. Pramani here mentioned about mobile first, we are launching our solutions onto e-commerce, mobile, and in-store, where customers can trial products anywhere at any time, making it easier for them. They can also share their images on Facebook, email it, Twitter, and WhatsApp it. Because these days, it's more about influential buying. People would like to ask peer reviews. We collect huge data and high-quality data. We collect them, we analyze them, and we recommend. As Dr. Mashelkar earlier mentioned about predictions, we will be able to say that, John, your favorite white shirt and blue jeans is on sale right now. And we will be able to tell the retailers on what you can source, because we know which product has been trialed by which person and which n number of times. So those predictions, we will be able to do it. From here, the data are collected from the stores. In India alone, there are 1.5 million apparel stores in organized retail. And e-commerce is a huge opportunity for us. And as we all know, Indian e-commerce is going to be a big market, reaching $70 billion by end of 2020. This is our current traction, Raymond, GenNext 21, and few others, which we have achieved recently. And this, we were able to do with 5-member team. I'm Mahendra Velingiri, who heads the sales and operations of the organization, and my friend here, Shiva, he takes care of the product development, and we have known each other for more than 15 years. We went to school together, studied in Australia together, and returned back. And an amazing advisory board. Mr. Biju Korean, a retail veteran, more than 30 years of experience, is our angel investor, an advisor, a mentor, helps us in strategy. Thank you, sir, for coming here and supporting us today. Mr. Kishore Kasina, who helps us in product development. He's got more than 15 years of experience in software architecture. I would like to welcome you all to our booth, and please trial our products and get yourself clicked in Indian traditional wear and share it with your family and friends. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Mahendra. You know, you solved the problem of my knees. You know,
but not
my wallet, right?
Not the wallet.
That's the problem. That's why.
So the wallet is from your side.
No thanks to you. I see that you use the Windows Kinect there. It's a very powerful device. How about privacy there? That's a big concern that you're going to have.
Yes, absolutely. So what we do is that we host it onto our secure server, and persons engage using their username and password. So it's completely secured. We can either do it in-store or we get into Microsoft Azure platform for the services.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mahendra. Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
So this is March. March, April, May, June. You know what's familiar in that month? It's not just the balance sheet. It's not just not the P&L accounts, but also your children studying for exams, right? The entrance exams. This is a period when most of the parents go through some anxious moments. And what we're going to give you next, the solution from Austin by Saiju, is something that we believe can elevate the problem of the parents. So Saiju, all to you.
Yeah, thanks, Ramesh. 'Cause, 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 'c
Hey, good morning. I am Saiju, present a solution. I'm sorry. Present a solution that's greatly valuable for many of the parents seated here. You must be familiar with this picture. So many years I am seeing students preparing for entrance examinations are struggling with stress. I really wanted to build something that is innovative and really useful for students preparing for entrance examinations. I proudly introduce Austin.com, an intuitive, adaptive, personalized entrance test preparation platform. We will see how exactly it works. We know that practice makes us perfect, and practice is the key to any competitive examination in this world. Speed and accuracy, you need to successful in a competitive exam can be gained through continuous practice. Austin generate continuous practice tests from topic areas where you need immediate attention. Austin encourages you with reward points, badges to attempt more tests. Okay. And once your practice test is completed, the system recommends you study content. And the typical study content is a video lecture or a text note. If you need further assistance, you can subscribe to Austin tutoring services. And the beauty of these tutoring services is that before the tutoring starts, the tutor gets a personalized tutoring plan that talks about the strengths and weaknesses of the learner. So that will help the tutor to give the best possible attention to the students. 3 years, 30 plus courses and 2 million practice hours have been delivered on the platform. And we have 1 lakh customers and 10,000 customers are paid customers. 250 schools and 27 paid schools. Last 3 years we have doubled the revenue, and looking forward, we double the revenue in every quarter. It has a real great global opportunity. In India itself, it is a $2.2 billion opportunity. We were featured by most of the leading newspapers in India. We are already honored with Education Excellence 2014 Award and Red Ring Asia Top 100 Finalist Awards. The mobile application was launched by Sam Pitroda, the former Innovation Council head. And the offline products for the rural market was launched by IT Minister Kerala. And the team, I'm Saiju V. Stella, the CEO and founder of Austin.com. Prior to Austin, I was working as a technical consultant for Baxter Healthcare in US and Allstate Insurance in UK. And my advisor, Professor P.C. Thomas, he's a founder of Professor P.C. Thomas Classes, the largest entrance coaching center in South India. And we have a 13-member team right now, a team of educators, technologists, and sales members. I would request you to visit my stall today. You can have a live demonstration there, or you can visit www.austin.com. And today, I can offer a 51% discount on all of my products, and you can use the discount code GenNext to avail this offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saiju. Thank you for the discount.
Oh,
so, as John said earlier, we will have a, thank you very much. You can get on now. So, as John said earlier, we have a small innovation in the agenda itself. We're going to take a 20-minute short break. Please have your tea, coffee, and then we will just assemble back by about 12:10. We'll assemble back. Thank you. So as I told you earlier, this short break was good. I mean, I'm sure you guys would have rejuvenated after hearing those heavy dose presentations of the startups. good articulation. I heard a lot of people talk about that. And that's something you get out of when you get out of an accelerator, right? Especially the GenNext or the Microsoft Venture Accelerator. That's what you get. Next, I want to kind of give a sneak, call upon my friend Rajat Tandon and give you a sneak preview as to what is happening in the ecosystem today. Like you all would have heard the news that last week the Prime Minister had a great meeting with the NASSCOM folks, and there were a lot of initiatives that they've been called upon, that he has dusted upon the community, the startup community. And even otherwise as well, as Bhaskar was talking about, in the budget, a lot of budgetary support has been given to them. So let's kind of hear from what the NASSCOM folks has to say. They are the pioneers in this field, and they talk very, very regularly to the government. I would like to have Rajat Tandon, who leads the startup, the NASSCOM Startup 10K initiative, which is primarily involved in fostering entrepreneurship on a very, very mass scale. And a huge kudos to Rajat and his team for doing that. So Rajat, please give us some more impetus as to what's actually going to happen over the next 6 to 8 months from Startup 10K initiative and also from the government side. Okay. Yes, all yours.
Thank you, Rajneesh. And I think I have to first personally start with saying the Reliance GenNext, this opportunity, this is the first time I'm saying that I want to say congratulations to you. I've been coming to Bombay, holding events where startups, I haven't seen a house full like this. So I think while one of my slides over here tries to show what the startup community is looking like, and Mumbai scores kind of second or third in the whole picture, after this we will have to do a new report, a research, where this number should certainly be coming up. So really, congratulations, Reliance Next Gen, that this is a great initiative, and hoping that the Ocean 11 moves to many more oceans ahead. So let me just start literally giving you a little bit of a picture about the startup ecosystem in India today. And this is a report done by NASSCOM very recently with the help of Microsoft and other partners. And what we saw that we took a list of startups and technology startups from year 2010. So anything which was 2010 earlier on, we call them we first divided these startup categories into different early stage, emerge, growth, and the one who've already achieved high laurels in the country. So the early stage technology startups, we saw in 2014 about 800 technology startups came in, and this technology startup growth rate is going to go to about 11,500 by year 2020. That's the whole picture what it's looking like. And in terms of the landscape, you'll see across all landscapes, whether it's very futuristic, innovative technologies being built up, products being built around IoT, cloud, augmented reality, connected devices, IoT. These are the buzzwords, and these startups are getting amazing traction across. And I think, as you can see, every day, the Economic Times is actually even putting across on the first page something about startups. So really a lot of movement from the last 1 or 2 years where we've seen the startup ecosystem grow. And India today happens to be the 4th largest in the world. And hopefully we can, just a little behind Israel, so hopefully we can take up that lead and be ahead. In terms of what we do at 10,000 Startups, we actually try to help the startup community. We've got a platform where startups, early stage, typically come and apply to us. And I look at 10,000 Startups as being a springboard, which actually moves on into the other incubation setups and the complete ecosystem. A list of activities are listed here, what we've done and what we plan to do in future. If you really look at it, we've tried to impact about close to 500 startups in India. That's kind of a measure which we are trying to put. We've received, this is a filtration process out of the 9,000 applications which we've received in 3 phases of our startup request for applications. And you can see we've tried to define ourselves saying how can we further help them. And impact is how we're trying to do it. Whether we try and help these startups get funded, the NASSCOM or NASSCOM 10K program do not fund the startups, but again, through the partnerships in the ecosystem, we are enabling funding support to the startups over here. Again, accelerated. So the startups who come to us, we filter them at first level. We do have a small warehouse in Bangalore where the early stage startups, they are groomed, they are nurtured, they are mentored, and then they move on across to going into startup warehouses like the Microsoft Ventures Accelerator in Bangalore, or some of the other accelerators in the country, and hopefully with NextGen as well. So we had 2 of the startups which I know in the 11 did early stage from the 10K startups team. Again, we are trying to build up a network of these the warehouses, what we call them as warehouses, so that a lot of these early stage startups in India are not able to either get funding or any kind of a support. So we are getting them to sit across at our place and then kind of move forward. We're also starting some collaborated measures with the NASSCOM has close to 1,800 members, and they're very senior people in the industry, in the IT industry. So they step out and they help the complete community of the startups, and this is something which we call the Connect program, where more than, at times more than funding, the startup actually needing support from mentors, from people who can connect them in the industry and just say, hey, hang on, I do understand what you're doing, and here's my friend, I can help you connect with him, and you can just go and meet up with him, and he will be able to look at or guide you across for the next level. So corporates typically, help them across either by, it's a cash, or it could be a collaborate measure with them, or in terms of, guidance as well. So 3 areas where we're looking at the corporates to help the startups, and that's typically what we try to achieve. We've also signed up very recently with Aadhaar. So that's the Aadhaar diffusion project. We have a responsibility to make sure that the adoption of the APIs of Aadhaar and startups are building products and technologies, solutions around the Aadhaar ecosystem. So a fully integrated solution will be rolling out. And again, we are trying to build up an online school where startups can come, have a look at the videos, how successful startups are formed, and so forward. For the bigger ones, we have this program which is called the InnoTrek, and this is basically a Valley program. Last year, we took about 27 startups to the Valley so that they could meet with the investors in the Valley, the mentors in the Valley, and people in the Valley who have done successful business. So the Indian companies were actually helped across outside by colleagues in the Valley. This year, we are having the InnoTrek 2015 from 13th May to 19th May, and the intent is to have about 100 startups going to the Valley. So clearly, I think all the startups which are here, should look at applying to the program. Finally, I just want to put across a final word that Microsoft is a real partner to the startup ecosystem. Right when we started the 10,000 Startups program, Bhaskar is here. Bhaskar has helped promoted the program significantly, and we've been going out and evangelizing startuphood in the community. So right from early stage to even Mr. Satya Nadella, he was there at an event in Delhi where he talked to close to about 150, 160 startups on a one-to-one. And when he was asked one question saying that, if you had to start up right now, what would you do? So he said, I'll probably apply to 10,000 startups. So that was another great moment for all of us. So clearly, we help the startups with all the initiatives which are from Microsoft, giving all the credits, startup kits, which are provided here, and moving across them to the accelerator program. Some successful startups who have been out of 10,000 startups and gone to Microsoft Ventures are listed right here below. You can see that. And clearly, I think the 4 areas where the whole team kind of gets together to support around mentorship, acceleration, enterprise connects, and funding. That's what enables across. Recently, when Rajneesh mentioned about, so other than these initiatives, we do work towards policy support for the startups. We are trying to look at how the 10,000 crore fund that can be distributed, the incubation fund, which has been talked about 1,000 crore, how that can go into the startup community. And overall, with the PM's message was very in favor. We had 14 startups who had both a photo moment, an award moment, as well as a selfie moment with the Prime Minister of India, who talked highly about the startups and how importance of the startups in the Indian ecosystem for us to go into the next level of any innovation. He also inaugurated something which is called the Innovate for India initiative, where startups can apply with innovative technologies under different verticals, 5 different vertical segments. So hopefully we'll be able to drive that initiative also fast. So with that, I just wanted to congratulate the 11 startups who are here and wish them the very best. Thank you for the time.
Now, first of all, thank you so much for bearing the torchlight here, because in this ecosystem, when I remember 5 years back, there was nobody who was a leader in the ecosystem providing guidance. And I think you guys and your team has done a fantastic job to provide and be the torchlight over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So next, we have an interesting solution. Most of us travel, at least I travel a lot, and I can tell you that it's really boring to sit at various places waiting for your planes or waiting for your car. It's just kind of, you'll feel completely tired out and you feel dead when you actually landed at that particular place. So this is a solution that Karthik from Fropcon has put together, which is trying to make your travel even more easier and even more entertaining. So Karthik, all over to you. Let's hear you.
Thanks, Rajneesh. Hi. Am I audible? Okay. Hi. So I'll just elaborate what Rajneesh just said. Let me show you a few visuals which all of us in this room will relate to. So this is an image I took about 8 months back when I and my friend, we were traveling from Hyderabad to Bombay. Our flight was delayed, and given that we didn't have anything to do, we went around clicking pictures, and this is one of those visuals. And so there are some few more visuals I'll show you, which is like the similar, which is what you would see at a typical airport. So as you can, yeah. So a lot of people are at the airport and they don't know what to do. And if you look at people in the terminals, at the arrival halls, they're waiting. The rich VCs and bankers out here would be at the bar chilling. Entrepreneurs like us who are struggling would probably be in one of those aisles. And even in the flight, there is no in-flight entertainment anymore because of the low-cost airlines. So we realized air travel, although comfortable, can be very long and boring. Cut to 5 days later, we take the train back from Bombay to Hyderabad, and we see even at the railway station, there are millions of passengers who are just at the railway station with nothing to do. So we dig deeper and to figure out what's really the problem like, and we realized of the 80 million passengers who travel by air to about 4 billion who take the railways, each day, about 200 million hours are being spent just on travel. 200 million hours, like that's the quantum of time being spent and people are bored. So we thought, what can we do about this? Which is when we went ahead and built our product, Fropcon. Fropcon is a content commerce company. It's a travel entertainment venture which helps people stay engaged and entertained when they're traveling. And the way we do it is by setting up these content hotspots at travel locations. So you as a user can connect to these content hotspots over Wi-Fi. You can start browsing our entire catalog. And then depending upon which of the movies, music, games, and ebooks that we've got, you can select that and transfer it to your device within a matter of minutes. So let me actually show you how it works. So I've queued up a movie on my mobile phone, and I'm going to start downloading it right now. And let's see what happens in a matter of a couple of minutes. So we launched this product. We went back to the Hyderabad airport, where we first realized this problem. And then we launched the product there and converted the boring, drab terminal into an entertainment hub. So as a user, then what are the benefits? Because we deploy local content servers, first of all, users do not need any data connection. There is zero dependence on the internet. You connect to the local server over Wi-Fi, which is why it is super fast. You do not pay for any data connection. And the transfer happens within a matter of minutes. The content that we bring to the service is also highly curated and personalized. So the library which a person sees at Hyderabad airport would be very different from what a person sees, say, at a Delhi bus terminal. And the entire content is DRM protected. So there is no way users can illegally transfer the content, and that's how we take the content producers' concerns into account. But we're not doing this alone. To make this happen, a lot of things need to come together. And we have partnered with people across travel operators as well as content partners. And we are building an entire ecosystem to bring awesome entertainment to passengers on the move. The team that is making it happen, the most important part. So we are very unique in the sense that both the co-founders have the same name, Karthik. And Karthik Bansal, you see there, he leads our engineering. And being a Bansal, e-commerce and making money online comes naturally to him. I'm Karthik Podar. Again, I'm also ex-Microsoft. I've been working primarily on product management and marketing, and which is what I do at FropCon as well. There are a few more ex-Microsoft folks in our team, Kunal and Neha that you see on the top left. And our latest addition, Saidat, he's been working with about 9 years in telecom operation, and he's helping us go out in the market and roll out much faster. So next time when you're at the airport and you're looking for your boarding gate, don't be surprised if you see a board which actually tells you FropCon, and you'll instantly know that awesome entertainment is available over here real fast. Talking about real fast, so the movie that I started to download is already on my phone, and it's completely DRM protected, high quality, and you can actually start playing it right away. Thank you.
Brilliant content. Just a question, for the past month, we've been in the market, and a lot of people, the early skeptics have said, oh, FropCon, great, but what happens when 4G comes in? What are your views on that?
So we think actually 4G will help us as well, because what it will help do is people will start realizing the power of consuming entertainment on mobile devices. It will bring a lot more people to the market. Now, there are a few nuances which we solve, which a solid data connection cannot. One is that our transfer speeds are super fast. Two, if you look at how data is sold globally, it's always restricted packs. Now, because that's the case, users will always be mindful about not consuming a lot of their data bandwidth. And three, we took a journey from Bombay to Pune on a bus, and we realized there were about 21 dead spots where there was zero connection. FropCon eliminates that problem because throughout the journey, entertainment is always available. You can keep streaming when you're in the bus because the local content server is actually sitting on the bus. So we solve those problems in a very different way.
Great, thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, you must download FropCon from outside. Many of you here employ people, recruit people. Some of you are recruitment managers, and it is a nightmare managing hundreds of thousands of people, screening them, onboarding them, and going through the rigorous process. Presenting Amit from Interview Mocha, who solves just that problem.
Thanks, John. I'm Amit Mishra, from a pre-employment skill testing company. Did you know a company spends over $1,200 in administrative cost, time, efforts, and hassles in initial level of candidate interaction? So this is the scenario I am talking about US and European region. In India, this cost comes out to be $400 to $500. Every company understands the need of this now, and hence almost all Fortune 500 companies are using some or other pre-employment testing solution, and trend is picking up in small and medium enterprises. Okay, problem understood. From a layman's point of view, it is very easy to create and conduct tests. But let me take you to the perspective of a recruiter. What are the pains involved in the process? Our recruiter handles multiple job profiles, hundreds of skills. For creating tests for these skills, recruiter take help from project teams, hiring manager, wasting their billable hours. And believe me, this is not a one-time activity. This is an ongoing activity. Maintaining freshness of questions is also a challenging task. And story is not over for recruiter over here. Recruiter needs to schedule the test, follow up candidate who are taking the test, needs to manage test center operation, including human invigilation, and finally do the evaluation of test papers. This is the old and inefficient way of hiring, slow and tedious. Introducing Interview Mocha, a fast and easy solution which is making the life of recruiter better, easier. With hundreds of ready tests, we are creating 30 more tests each month, which are highly reliable and validated. We are the fastest custom test creation company because of our thousands of questions, pool of subject matter experts, and many simulators. Being a pre-employment testing focused player, we have added many features which boost up the productivity of a recruiter, like webcam proctoring, decisive reporting, auto follow-up of candidate, and integration with almost all sourcing mechanism, include your website career page. With a great product, we have good traction so far. We sell online, we are a SaaS company, got 50 plus global customers so far, including few of the billion-dollar enterprises like Credit Suisse UK, Danske Bank Denmark, Nelson Mexico. We are growing 50% from last 2 quarters straight with 80% repeat purchases. Meet our team. I'm Amit, ran a IT services venture in the past, had a $2 million exit. Sujit was a CTO then. We continue to wear the same hats in Interview Mocha. We have Rajesh, who is a Jamnalal Bajaj pass out, as our sales head. He was in a leading sales position in Xerox and Vocard earlier. Atul Gopal, who is the owner of Bullseye, which is a premier CAT GRE preparation company in India, advises us on content. And we have angel investor, Wolfgang from Germany. He heads GIBC, German-India Business Center. With this, I would like each one of you to experience the power of Interview Mocha. Come to our stall, take your $99 worth Interview Mocha test free, gift it to your recruiter, hiring manager, HR, save their 200 hours, $4,000, and let's make your recruitment more productive and efficient. Thank you.
Great, Amit. Thank you very much. Just a question. We saw a mail from you about a month back saying global companies are now using you. How are they finding you and why are they using a product made out of India?
Yeah, that was my blog actually. I got $2 billion customer as my client when I was in sleep. So morning I got up and got 2 payments. So how it is happening, we are using all sorts of digital marketing mechanisms through which people find us, and we are getting a good traction overseas where people see us, try us and pay online. So it is, everything is the power of internet, power of digital marketing, power of SaaS, I would say.
So you're saying the problem that you're solving is not an India-specific problem, it's a problem that's global, and the tests that you have are globally relevant.
Yes, in US and European region, it's a $1,200 problem per hire. In India, it is $500 per hire. So it's a bigger problem overseas, I would say, than in India.
Super. All the best, Amit. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks all.
So we saw that Interview Mocha is great for the health of an organization. If you can save hundreds of thousands of dollars for HR teams, you bring in more efficiency and you bring in faster scale. The next company that we have is another gentleman who gave up a great job in the US and came back to India to create a predictive analytics solution for healthcare. Subhashish, the floor is yours.
Done.
Thank you, John.
See you later. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, John. Yeah, so I want to start off this presentation by sharing with you my best friend, Shoptik. Shoptik, celebrating his 32nd birthday, just 2 months after this, I get a call from his wife in India, and she uttered those 4 words that changed my life completely. She said, Shoptik, our name. Shoptik is no more. A young, vibrant, 32-year-old healthy guy just gone of cardiovascular complications. I was beside myself. I didn't know what to do. I gave up everything. My PhD in engineering, my MBA from Wharton, my jobs in US, my lavish life, everything. I had to find out because those things don't matter. What mattered is what actually happened to Shoptik and what could we have done in order to avoid something like this for Shoptik and for somebody else. Well, when I started looking at this whole thing, in detail, what I found out was that, this is a big problem. The problem is so big that it kills 36 million people every year. And 1 out of every 3 baby born today is going to be a diabetic. That's a problem. And do you know why the numbers are so ludicrous? It's because we are still stuck in that domain of curative medicine where preventive healthcare means catching the disease early and stopping it from growing big. Well, as we all know, there are some doctors here also, that if you catch that disease through symptoms, through clinical studies, it's already too late. You have to be with that. It cannot be reversed. So, this is just one problem. The other problem is even when we know that we have some risk factors, we are never told what the severity of those risks are and exactly what are the simple steps that you can take in order to not have those symptoms or not have that disease. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Health Vectors, a company that has been formed to shift this paradigm from detect and contain to a paradigm of predict and prevent. You have to predict in order to prevent. And not only that, to be able to provide a simple solution step by step to empower the right people at the right time is very essential, and doing that at an affordable price is also very important. And how do we do it? We take clinical data, and we take personal health data like lifestyle, food habits, exercise habits, family medical history, known medical conditions, a lot of these things, and then we put it into our analytics engine. And that engine, what it does is uses evidence-based science, it uses cognitive computing, and it uses all this information and creates these tools. And these tools are what helps us in actually providing insights that can be consumed very easily by the right people, and organizations also can utilize that information. I talked to you about Shobtik. Now I want to introduce you to another friend of mine now. His name is Nikhilesh. In many ways, Nikhilesh was a carbon copy of Shobtik. He had the same level of, almost the same level of cardiovascular disease risk as Shobtik, except he had the opportunity to embrace the Health Vector solution. We used the predictor tool, and we gave him step-by-step step-by-step solution as to what exactly he needed to do. All he had to do is follow those lifestyle habit changes, and some clinical data need to be reversed. And look what we have done with Shobtik in 6 months. This is a guy who is now going to celebrate many birthdays. And Shobtik is just one of the solutions. There are many, Nikhilesh. There are many Nikhileshes we are actually inspiring on a daily basis. And this is not just an India problem, it's a world problem. Let's join this predictive revolution and change the world from right here in India. And because we have structured data, we are now able to create this ecosystem where institutional clients and partners and retailers can come in and use our platform to be able to deliver solutions to the masses. As far as traction, it's tremendous. Last 8 months, everybody wants to use us. And the best thing is big hospitals and hospital chains have validated our information and our solutions, and they are by our side, being our partners, to be able to deliver this solution all through. As far as traction, again, we've touched 1,500 lives so far, created a revenue of about $80,000. And you know, this is a huge global market, 35 billion. And when we talk about the market in India, it's $5 billion, growing at a combined annual growth rate of roughly 25%. This is the team that is advising us on a regular basis. We have a strong team of 9 or 10 people sitting there, and you can meet many of them. But the most important thing is, there's a doctor sitting here also, is right here. These are the people who actually form a combined experience of more than 100 years that have gone into and created this solution that is now being consumed by others. Thank you so much. I want to invite all of you to the booth next to Health Vectors, where Krishna is actually helping us collect the information that we need to be able to provide you with that solution. Please don't wait for those symptoms, ladies and gentlemen. Please go there, find out exactly where you are. If you're doing well, great. If you're not, we'll tell you exactly what you need to do so that you don't have those symptoms and don't become one of the statistics. Thank you so much. I'll see you there.
So, doctor, please hold a spot for me there. I know everybody won't rush there, but I want one spot as well.
Okay.
Okay, good. So I saw the traction that you're building up. What's the traction you're seeing from the medical fraternity itself? Because this is a very sensitive topic and something that is very highly regulated as well. And what's the thoughts on that?
So, yeah, thanks for that question. You know, there are a lot of doctors out there who are part of our team also, who were initially the biggest skeptic. Now they are the biggest evangelist of what we have produced. You've gone into their mind and picked their brains and formed a solution that they're all liking. And that's the reason, you know, these hospitals are also then finding a way to, you know, accept our solution, providing it to the masses.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. That takes care of my health. Now, as Bharat was talking earlier, we spend a significant amount of time traveling, right? I mean, most of us ride cars. Have you ever wondered about what that car really thinks? How many of you will watch this movie, Cars? Few. Okay, good. I mean, good number of hands there. Have you ever seen how the car is demanding attention there? But today, after 2008, I'm told that all the cars have got a greater amount of systems within them which can throw up a lot of data. But sadly, let's see how these dumb terminals can be made a little bit more smarter. And I want to kind of introduce now Sagar Apte of Car IQ, and he's going to explain to you as to how your car can throw more intelligent data outside, and that can help you in the long run. So Sagar, all up to you.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. When we started thinking of data, we started looking at sources of data, and we saw that internet was filled with solutions that were already looking at data. We know Google, we know Facebook, we know how money is being made off the internet. We very quickly realized that the next source of data, the next gold mine of data, is going to be in the Internet of the Things. And when we look at Internet of Things, we started wondering, have we left something behind? Have we not looked at something that knows so much about us and can make a lot of meaning and add a lot of value to our lives? We started thinking about cars. We started thinking about cars, and then we started thinking about the computers that cars has. We started thinking about the power that these computers have, the amount of data that these cars have, and the rich data that they have that is lying in those cars, unused, unaccessed, yet having a lot of value, but being left in those dumb terminals. We started wondering, is there some way we could collect this data, we could pull this data from the car and put it to the cloud, and then see if it makes any meaning for the car owners and then everybody around it. Introducing Car IQ, a small device that is plugged into the Car IQ, into the cars. It's a small port, the one that you see here. It's available in every single car out there, and every car after 2008 supports this data transfer from the cars to the cloud. It's something that is so simple that you just have to open your door, look under your steering wheel, and plug this device in, and that's about it. You don't have to worry about anything else. And guess what? Even OEMs love it. In fact, Ford, General Motors have announced programs, have actually open sourced some of the data to get to these cars and be able to pull out. But what does this data mean? What does this data actually mean once it's being put on the internet? Imagine a car owner who knows if his driver is going to pick up drives or is going to rash drive after being brought at the airport. Imagine you're having children and you want to know whether the car is being misused, not only in terms of location, but what if he's overspeeding and rash driving this car? How many here know the mileage of your car? How about getting an alert that there is a problem in your car and that needs to be fixed? Imagine workshops being integrated into the system now, and a workshop calling you and telling you, there is a problem in your car, don't worry about it, it'll get fixed. It's pretty simple, in the next 2 weeks, just drop in into our workshop and get it fixed. Or, it's pretty important, very important, can you get in as soon as possible so we can fix this problem? Now, workshops can play a more proactive role towards providing a service solution that you always needed, always wanted. And what about those weekend drives that you make? What about those weekend trips that you went and found new routes? You can actually share them over Facebook in a nice looking graph. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. When you talk about cars and car owners and workshops, you're just touching the tip of the iceberg. This data can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Think analytics. Think insurance. Why pay for a whole year if you're just driving around for 6 months? We believe that car buyers will start thinking of car IQ as importantly as car insurance. That's where we want to take this whole thing. Imagine roadside assistance being sent to the location where you are, and even before the team comes to give you assistance, already knows what is the problem with your car. They know where you are, what's your contact number, everything is just being taken care of in the platform. Think about infrastructure providers. Just this data itself means so many things to different people. It's not about getting an internet into the car. It's literally putting the car itself on the internet where all these guys can access. And we are looking at a really, really big market here. We are looking at India spending around $5 billion USD on aftermarket services. We are looking at 15 million cars on road post 2008 when Bharat Stage 2 was announced to be able to support that. And we are looking at 3 million cars being added every single year onto this platform. Imagine a world where every car is connected to each other and providing this information. We are live. We've been getting data from around 250 plus units. We have around 350 plus pre-orders. We've been in research for almost 3 years. Almost 800 plus cars have been analyzed till date. A couple of patents have been filed. But the most interesting thing when we started telling about this solution about 3 to 6 months back was the enterprises. Car Wale today uses Car IQ technology to identify the condition of the car, whether it's a good car or a bad car, is identified by sending that data to the Car IQ platform and understanding how that car is. That's just one enterprise application. Other than that, we are talking to Zoom cars, we are talking to Bajaj, we are talking to Kotak, we are talking to insurance players, we are talking to roadside assistance providers, we are talking to AXA assistants to see how this whole data can make a lot of value back to the car owners. It takes a dream team to build a solution that doesn't exist. There are only 3 other companies in the world who have started selling a solution like ours. And all of them are in the North Americas and focused on the North American cars. We are the only one who have a ready-to-market, on-the-field solution today, connecting and providing a connected car experience. Helping me with, I'm Sagar, I'm the startup CEO here. Yeah, I do tend to call myself as a startup CEO versus a regular CEO, because it means a different thing here. We have Kumar, who's heading engineering. We have Veenu, who's heading operations, and Deepak, who's heading product management. All of us come from an experience of big as well as small companies. We have worked at Siemens, PTC, Pubmatic, Red Hat, Dhruva, and we've almost all 4 of us have worked actually for some or the other startup, and 2 of us have actually started companies in the past, helping us actually understand what a startup needs. Car IQ, simplifying cars. I really invite you all to come to our stall. Some of you have already been there. The others, I would please request you to come, see the solution, see what we are doing, and help us kind of connect all this car ecosystem into one single platform. Thank you.
Sagar, thank you.
Thanks, Rajesh.
I have a question.
Please.
You said that insurance premiums are actually going to come down. Are Indian insurance companies ready for such a solution, and are they really working on that?
Yes, yes. Insurance companies today in India have already started looking at it. To a certain extent, India is a follower, but US has been implementing usage-based insurance for the last 3-4 years now. In fact, a couple of companies in the US do not sell insurance without a connected car platform being connected. And we are actively talking to 3 insurance companies, and 1 insurance company is actually in a POC right now, testing our solution out.
Great. And I have another question more, if you don't mind. Please. The question is related to OEMs. I mean, will OEMs accept putting another device into their cars? I mean, will the warranty get devoid?
No, that's a great question, by the way. Thank you. This product does not warranty void your warranties, purely because the connector where we connect this device is intended to get data. That's what Bharat Stage 2, that's what legislation means. And Ford, General Motors, and other companies are open sourcing data to kind of get to this data. So they're actually supporting and funding these initiatives and startups to get to the data. So OEMs love this.
And are you talking to Toyota?
Sorry?
Are you talking to Toyota?
We are talking to a couple of
OEMs. I have more questions, in fact. I'm sorry, I'm really bugging with questions. In fact, it's a short time, but I have a lot of questions, and this is something that's really killing me. But thank you anyway. I will have some way to find an answer to my questions, and I'm sure there must be some startup somewhere here or somewhere in the world who's trying to solve the problem for me. I mean, everybody has this problem. So let me now invite Animesh. Animesh from Light. It's all yours. You're all set? Yep. Any questions?
Lots.
Please go ahead.
So before I start, we've been giving big hands to great inventions here that you've seen, innovations. So let's also give a very big hand to Rajneesh and John. And you know why we did that? Because you noticed something they did after every invention here was presented, they did something. You know what that is? Yes, they asked questions. And why did they ask these questions? Anybody? To know answers. And answers, friends, are an insight into the mind of the entrepreneur and the concept that he's presenting. It helps us all understand things much better. So talking of answers, when we have questions, what is it that we do? Anybody? We Google, and we Yahoo, and we Bing it, right? When we do that, we are employing these great inventions of our time to help us on a path to finding an answer. Let me illustrate what I'm talking. Why did the oil prices drop recently? Let's take this question. And when we deploy a search engine, you get millions of links. And I'm telling you, depending on how you posted the question, your answer will come up in one of those links. What answer? An answer that will look something like this. 4 things affecting the picture, right? Let's take another example. When is a good time to have calcium? Did you even know that there is a good time to have calcium? Well, apparently there is. And when you deploy a search engine, you'll get wonderful links. When you go into those links, you will realize, if you have typed it correctly, at night, before you go to bed, that's a good time to have calcium. Let's take another question that most of us here in the room are familiar with or would like to know. What investors want, right? And of course, when you deploy a search engine, you'll get all these links for an answer that will look something like this. 5 things investors would like to know before signing a check. Let's pause here for a minute. Let's get some numbers in perspective. 2.2 years of our lives, the time that we're awake, we spend doing this to get that. We spend 2.2 years of our life searching online for answers. Today, this beautiful morning, when you've already seen wonderful inventions, we are happy to announce a product launch, a global launch of Light, the world's first answering engine. Yes, you can clap, because this clap can be heard in Santa Clara, California. So it's the world's first answering engine, ladies and gentlemen, based on NLP and hybrid technology. What kind of questions, you say, can be answered through this? Well, any kind. I'm feeling stressed. What to do? Is the national banking exam canceled today? What is the score of the match that is currently happening? Well, any question. And what it brings to a table is something that we have never seen, a brand new form factor. Something that my mother, my children, people on the move, when you're driving, anything, you can talk a question like that, get an answer like this. And take it another level where you can actually interact with the system. You can interact with machines, and you can talk to machines and to experts and get your answer. We're talking of a whole new space here. Because I said it's an NLP and a man-machine hybrid engine that we have, it ensures that you get answers to every question that you can ask. And it also makes it simple. It's ubiquitous, which means that you can ask a question like you're talking to your best buddy. And this brings a whole new medium in perspective. A medium based on interest, a medium where you are able to interact based on your questions. And in doing so, we are disrupting a $100 billion industry. And I'm sure you know which industry we are talking about, right? And that industry makes its money through advertising, enterprise solutions, and big data That is pretty much how we look to monetize. But right now, we're just focused on the numbers traction. And you might think, hey, guys out of India, such a big concept. Is there a gap? It's just in their heads. You know what? Initially, we thought that as well, because we're crazy guys. You wouldn't meet the team. But, so we decided, let's try this out. Let's use the most difficult medium for viral, which is the SMS, and let's see if there is this space. And believe it or not, 18 states in India. We did not publish a single newspaper. We didn't have a website for a concept called Pooch. We got questions from 18 states in India. We were answering 2.5 million questions a month. And the team behind it, the crazy, crazy team, it's Sanjeev Menon, our CTO. He's what makes these crazy ideas into a reality. He and his team, he previously founded NetYantra out of Florida and sold that company's IP for 22 million. So he was very important in our team, obviously. And then I come from a product and marketing background. Worked with companies like CompuLink. I set up CAPS International. And to complete the cap table, you have Sanjeev Nair, Vishal, and Rudra. And we spent 3 years. We burnt $500,000 to work on technologies like ATD, name entity recognition, lexical answer type. Some of you may be confused, but I'll make it simple. Let's take a question. How many centuries did Sachin score in 1996? When you ask that question to the system interprets it as, how many times did a person called Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar score more than 100 runs in any form of cricket in the year 1996 to be able to come out with the answer for you, right? That is the kind of technology that we're working on. So we are not a typical, keyword-based engine. And to make this a reality, we have a small team of artists and dreamers. But yeah, they're qualified as engineers, though. But these guys back in Pune, and some of them are also here, you can meet them, they made this a reality. So today, since it's launched, since it's out there, and it's a special invite code that we have for you today, where you can download this application. And you remember those 2.2 years I spoke about? The time we spent looking for stuff online? Well, today onwards, you can change that part of your life. You can do lots of other stuff with those 2.2 years. All you need to do is download the app, and whenever you have a question, however insignificant it may seem, it has a potential to change the world. You can ask it online and get an answer. And going forward, any person you meet, you could help them save 2.2 years of their life when you give them the invite code that is special for today. And the invite code is GenNext. So be careful when you type it, because our Android phones are so smart, they might put another word and replace it with another word, right? So GenNext is the invite code. So, ladies and gentlemen, go forth and spread the light. Woo!
So should I ask him a question?
Download the app, Rajneesh.
Yeah,
Download the app.
thank you. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you so much, Animesh. So
Thank you.
all the best. It's a global launch.
Thank you.
Well, do well, my friend. So like all good things, everything has to come to an end. And of course, there's no end in the case of innovation. As I told you earlier, we're still going to continue the way, the kind of work that we're doing here. I just want to kind of step back and let you all know what we do at GenNext and what we do at Microsoft Ventures, because very important that you understand the strengths that both the partners bring to the table. So, can we get the presentation on? Thank you. So, Bhaskar spoke earlier about the Microsoft Venture Acceleration Programs as to what we do, the various types of initiatives that we do here. He spoke about the aspect of giving a software or a DreamSpark program for the students, BizSpark for the startups, and the Microsoft Venture Accelerator that we have in Bangalore, and so on and so forth. But what do you see here? I just want to kind of expand on that quadrant, on the left-hand side quadrant. What we do at Microsoft Venture Accelerator right now. So we have 4 programs. We started off initially about 2 years back doing pure accelerator program, like the one that we have seen at GenNext, where it is a very programmatized way of accelerating startups. What we have done after a few batches is that we have moved ahead, and we have got something, initiated a new program called Accelerator Plus, which is a very individualized and intervening program where, depending upon the needs or the individual needs of that particular startup, we intervene. It's very important. So it's not programmatic. It's based on the actual needs of that particular startup, we intervene. So it may be in some area of customer acquisition, it may be in finance, it may be in funding, and whatnot. Then we moved on. We moved on and said, let's hire even more, because the reason is when you see the startup ecosystem, beyond a certain point, they're no longer startups. They're known as new-gen companies, right? You all have heard of this term called new-gen companies, right? So how about these new-gen companies? How are we going to kind of tackle them? And that's where we started working with the VC community, and we came up with this program called the Hypo program, whereby the entire effort is spent on giving customer and customer access to those companies, and these companies are nominated by the venture capitalist. Then this year onwards, we also started a new program. When I say this year, I mean the latest batch. We started a program called Portfolio Program Management, whereby this is all very, very seasoned startups who are beyond the stages of seed and who are now into exiting an M&A, where we are going to give them very individualized intervention, and this intervention is going to be on the basis of how do they exit, what is the kind of funding modes that they require for, and so on and so forth. So if you see those 4 elements, the 4 programs, as you can imagine, we have programs suited from a normal startup to a program that is for a new-gen company that is trying for an M&A or for an exit. So those are the kind of 4 things. The reason why I'm painting this particular story is that we want to bring that kind of an expertise into the next few batches as we move along with our partners, in this case with GenNext. It's not just stopping there, because if you do just the acceleration, it's not really going to help. You need to kind of build your sphere of influence even beyond. And that's when startups and the ecosystem can actually start working with you. And what you see here is that we have worked with knowledge partners. We have iSpirit. We work very closely with them on the SaaS area. In fact, I encourage you all to go to Microsoft Ventures website and download the white paper that we have uploaded there, which was written in collaboration with iSpirit. Then we have a white paper on merger and acquisitions. Then we have corporate venturing that we work with our friend Rajat Tandon on the NASCOM side. And then, of course, women entrepreneurship, something very, very close to the heart of our CEO, both Bhaskar and Satya, because we want to kind of promote the women in entrepreneurship to a very much higher level, because that's something, if you see, we see in the ecosystem on a very low scale. We still don't see too many women entrepreneurs. I know we have too many women, some women co-founders, but not really women entrepreneurship leaders. So that's something we want to fix. And of course, we have partners on the other side, on the angel side, and many other partners. The reason why I said all this is that because it's only thanks to the ecosystem players we are able to stand here and deliver the best of the best startups that you have seen today. I'm sure all of you will agree that the quality of startups today were of a much, much higher magnitude than they were a few years back. So my sincere thanks, my heartfelt thanks, my gratitude to TIE, to 10,000 startups, Rajat, to you and your wonderful team, to NASCOM, Mumbai Angels. There are multiple partners that I've called over here, and a few partners have been kind enough to come down here as well. And of course, some of the mentors that I've called out on the right-hand side. All these folks have spent a considerable amount of time visiting our Mumbai accelerator, our GenNext accelerator, and spend time with the startups. As you can see, I made the font small because there are even more people, and I couldn't fit everybody in the same slide. But that shows the fact that there is a lot of folks in the ecosystem who are trying to support us. What I request all of you all is that please take a look at all this. Please suggest if you have some good startups. As you heard Vivek talk in the morning, we have opened the next batch. We are seeking applications. So if you find a good startup who's there in that good quality area where you find that he needs some sort of a help on mentoring in the case of customer acquisitions or technology or maybe a potential fundraise or whatever you require, please ask them to apply for our batch. We'll be more than happy to take a look into it. And our process of selecting them is fairly transparent. We have a process whereby we have an eminent set of jury who looks into them, and then we call them for an interview, and then we select the top-notch 11 to 12 startups as you saw now. So with that, lunch is served at Jacaranda. Is that the place? Okay, lunch is served at Jacaranda. I would urge you all, have a lunch, have a great networking. And also, most importantly, before you go for lunch, do drop by at each of the booths. And ask as many questions as you can. And if you have any expertise to provide, please provide them to the startups. We did whatever we could, but there will be many things more that you can possibly also land. In that case, please give a visiting card, so let the guy talk to you back. And then with that, I would request your help in fostering this even more higher. So with that, thank you so much for taking your time out and coming on a Friday. We really appreciate the time you have spent. And I hope you had a good time seeing the startups graduate. Thank you.